Should I, 30F, be concerned about my STBX husband, 30M's sudden personality changes? My STBX and I have been married for 7 years. We celebrated our 10 years together back in July. Last year we bought our first home together. I thought we had it made. We have always had a very stable relationship. We barely ever fought, and when we did, we resolved it like adults. We supported each other through everything. Nothing is ever perfect. But I thought we were committed to making a life together. That we were both intelligent enough to make it work through thick or thin. I have several health conditions that he promised didn't bother him. I haven't been able to contribute as much as I wanted, and I was so excited to start a new treatment that would turn my life around and finally let me go on all those walks and day trips he loves so much. I was so excited to start my new life with him. About 6 months ago things started changing. He works remote and travels to his office in another city a couple of days a month. He fell in with a new group of friends and started going out partying and drinking heavily every time he went to the city. He stopped staying in hotels and started staying with his single coworkers. This upset me. But he told me I was being paranoid, and I begrudgingly dropped the issue because I trusted him. Then he stopped coming home. Getting so drunk he was consistently missing his train. Finding reasons to stay the night on what was supposed to be day trips. I confronted him about it and he told me he was miserable. He didn't want to come home to me and he wanted a divorce. I wish there was some context I was skipping over here. He went from perfectly happy and in love with me to miserable and borderline hating me in the span of a year. He obviously wasn't giving me the whole story, so I kept asking. He has said that he hates the house we bought. I offered to move to his city of work with him. He shut me down immediately. That me being upset with him not coming home was making him miserable. Was that an unreasonable reaction? That me asking to be invited to 1 or 2 events and meet his new friends was making him uncomfortable. He continues to swear up and down that there isn't anyone else and that he hasn't cheated on me, emotionally or physically. He then confessed that immediately after we broke up he tried weed, which is illegal here, at his coworker's party. This is the same man who less than a year ago told me he would break up with me if I ever took up smoking, because it's a disgusting habit and he wouldn't like it. Turns out he's been smoking cigarettes for months. He said he's only done weed once and that of course he wasn't going to get addicted. That he might not even try it again. He was lying and actually had a grinder on its way to our house as he was saying those very words. I didn't know any of this until a week later when I found his shiny brand new paraphernalia and pack of smokes. Last time he went to the city he ended up staying the night, which we had discussed and agreed to. But of course out of the 3 friends who offered for him to stay the night he chose his single female coworker, whom he admitted has had sex with several married men in the office already. Unprompted. He told me nothing happened, but when pushed confessed that she had made a move on him and he had said no. This man has gone from the most genuine, loving person I have ever met to an absolute arsehole that trickle-truths me at every opportunity. But the worst part is that some days he goes back to being who he was before. He's loving and genuine, and he says he's scared he's made the worst mistake of his life, and then within a few hours he's back to being cold and distant and completely disinterested in how he's wrecked my life and shattered my heart. Yesterday he sent me a list of all the things I'd need to be able to give him if I wanted to get back together, half of which I thought I had provided, some of which were cruel mockeries of my physical disabilities and health limitations. And then an hour later he deleted it and replaced it with a selfie asking if I thought he looked cute. He's acting like bloody Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He's running more hot and cold than the kitchen sink. I desperately need some outside opinions. Is he going crazy? Am I going crazy? Is this a symptom of a mental breakdown, or is there more he's hiding from me? I don't know what to do. He was my rock, and I've been left with nothing but a broken heart and questions he keeps changing the answers to. Update. After begging for an hour, he confessed. He's in love with someone else. Someone who's exactly like me but not disabled. Apparently the guilt has been making him punish himself with drink and drugs. But apparently the guilt isn't bad enough to make him want to make things right and try again with me. I won't lie. I'm not sure I can go on living knowing I will never be worth as much as someone who's identical to me except for my disability. Not sure what to do now. Drugs and an affair. Believe me, it can happen at any age. He's going to bankrupt you and lose his career. The trajectory is down. Edit for your update. Oh hell no. He didn't just blame this on you. Get out of that mindset right now. This is all on him. Run from this man or he will make you crazy. Immediately thought he's using harder drugs. They almost always say, just doing a little weed, but his behavior says otherwise. Doesn't matter which. It's all he'll end up thinking about. And the next coworker party at her place. As others said, lock down your finances, bank accounts, stocks, check the 401k, and figure out how you'll survive when you exit. This is pretty classic for former, straight-edge type people when they get their first taste of the party lifestyle. He's not interested in being a stable, responsible husband anymore. He just wants to rage, and because it's his coworkers enabling this in another city, he gets perfectly justifiable excuses to go deeper into this lifestyle. The best thing you can do for yourself is cut him off. If he's going to treat you like a ball and chain, you're not going to stick around to play that stupid role. Let him go get lost and break all of the good wholesome things in his life so he doesn't drag you down and crush your spirit in the process. Rarely does this spiral stop until that person hits a rock bottom and then needs someone outside of the party to help them. Hopefully he doesn't burn all the bridges with his family, because you aren't going to be that person for him in the future, because he's squandering your relationship now. The list of things you need to change, even though it's a him problem, reminds me of a friend of mine's relationship with her narcissistic ex. Like legit diagnosed lol. That's something he does all the time even though he's cheated on her. IDK, so many red flags. I think it's best to accept he isn't who he pretended to be and divorce. I echo everyone else regarding heavier drugs. Also could be cheating, as he is nice when he's feeling guilty and mean to you. BC, he wants to break free and be with other women. Edit. This dude was cheating. Pensive face. Sorry op. I'm guessing someone introduced him to harder drugs than weed. Based on the coworker comment, I'm guessing cheating has already happened or not far off. He'll eventually realize he's made a mistake. He likely already knows, but he's committed to it now and doesn't want to admit he's in the wrong, so he's going to ride it out. Let him go and do not take him back when he hits rock bottom. Look up addictive personality. It sounds like a match. If you have a joint bank account, move half of it out quickly. Then get a divorce attorney. Could be meth. I'd lock down your bank accounts before he drains them dry. That sounds like drugs and not just weed. Walk away from this relationship. For your sake. Please. Nobody is like you. You cannot be replaced for a so-called better model. Please love yourself and go. He sounds like an addict. So do yourself a favor and continue on. Get a divorce. He isn't safe to be around for you. People change. I feel sorry for you, but the moment he is prepared to divorce you, it's over. He is selfish to put your disabilities as a reason to support his bad habits. He didn't care how you might have felt. Trust me, he will never care hereafter. You need to accept that people do change over time and they do not go back to the person that we once loved. Time to move on to the next stage of your life. Don't drag the baggage. You are a strong woman. Stay strong. Heart. This story is similar to mine. My ex and I were together for almost 8 years. Bought a house. And he started steroids after going to a gym that swore to him that he would be in the best shape of his life. After that, he got cruel. And there were times where he was himself. Then he was cruel again. Then he slept with a girl who was supposed to be my bridesmaid and it all went downhill. I, too, did not think I would make it. I felt like the ugliest person alive. But you will. I have. You will be okay. My guess, he hit a midlife crisis that was induced by drugs and alcohol. Before you even mentioned the single woman coworker, I thought he was cheating. Now I'm sure of it. ETA. Obviously a ton of other issues as well. You can't fix him. He won't go back to normal. I'd get out while you can before it gets worse. It's definitely going to get worse. If he is close to his family, call them and stage an intervention. He is lying. Also, all his excuses are just that, and he is making things about you just to hurt you. I'd also consult a divorce lawyer. If he gets fired, you can end in financial trouble, particularly when you have a mortgage. It could affect your own credit history and you could end up homeless. You need to figure out how fast you could divorce him if he picks up a drug habit that drains his bank account, and you don't want him taking loans either.
Drugs.
How serious are your disabilities? Men tend to bail when their partner is sick.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.